Time for another episode of the Josh Cast, which, for me, is exactly what I want to be doing right now, actually, now that I think about it. This is what I want to do. I don't want to do a podcast with anyone else on it. I want the podcast to stand or fall by whatever I say and do. I want to have total creative control over a podcast that will be listened at any one time by 10 to 15 people and or be downloaded 10 to 15 times by 2 people. I do envy the larger podcasts that have commercials in them. They're so large, people pay money to have the podcaster give a little announcement, and I'd like to just. But I've got good news. I have some sponsors. I need to read the sponsors today. Today's podcast is brought to you by The Dark Side of the Force. Tired of doing things the hard way? You wish you could perhaps cut some corners and stop being so nice to people? Well, come on down to the dark side of the Force. We'll show you how to kill a man with just your pinky finger. Choke someone from all the way across the room. Shoot lightning out of your fingertips, but only your fingertips. Because a lot of people ask, can I shoot lightning out of other parts of my body? And the answer is no, just your fingertips. What kind of animal are you that you'd want to shoot it out of anything else? The Dark Side of the Force. If you're interested, call 1-800-THE DARK SIDE OF THE FORCE. That's 1-800-THE DARK SIDE OF THE FORCE. It's very dusty today. The wind is blowing. And as a result, my allergies are acting up. So it looks like I have the virus. Perfect. Why is it so blustery today, darling? We don't know. We don't know, Madam Shalafatrix. We don't know. Indeed, the wind should know that I, Madam Shalafatrix, does not approve of the wind. Well, Madam Shalafatrix, that's not how weather works. It should. I propose that we pay someone handsomely to build a weather machine that stops this wind. For God's sake, this is Los Angeles. It's supposed to be 75 degrees with no weather 365 days a year. That is why I moved here. From England. Probably that's where I'm from. I'm sorry, madam, but that's... Even Los Angeles will have variances in the weather. Yes, of course. Of course it will. I miss England. Not the people or the weather, or the cities or the countries, or the culture, the books, the movies. None of that. All of that was rubbish, but still, I miss England. And not for the food, and not for the king or queen, but still, I miss England. What exactly about England do you miss? That's not a question I can answer easily. It's a feeling. I miss the quiet superiority. It's not something they have in the United States. The superiority here is too loud, too obvious. I miss the ability to walk past someone, raise an eyebrow, and know in their soul I have judged them as inferior. That you cannot find here in the United States of America. That you cannot find. It's taken from a selection of the new play, Madame Chalifatrix. Written by... We don't know who wrote it. They took their name off the play. They took their name off. So the first day that I'm driving in broad daylight without a license plate, praying that I don't get pulled over. Even though I do have the number. What do I mean by I thought I had the number. Did I not take the number? I have it in my email. Other thing, I am really tired. I just feel like I've been punched in the face. Got really sick to my stomach last night. I've not been eating well. I've been depressed. I just want to be rich. I just want to be Madame Halifatrix. There we go. What's with all this wind? Why is this happening now? This is supposed to be a fall-winter thing, not a June thing. Perhaps even the virus has caused the wind to change, or rather the change in our habits. Less pollution, maybe that's causing the weather to change. I bet that has an effect. I'm not a scientist, he said, still sure he was right. Carl's Jr. open 24 hours. If your immune system is strong enough to fight the virus and you'd like to change that, come to Carl's Jr. You're not being fair to Carl's Jr., Josh. You're not being fair. You're just not being... That's the other accent I want to play with, is the southern accent. You're not being fair. You're not being fair, Joshua. Carl's Jr. has been responsible for putting smiles on people's faces for nigh on 75 years. I think that's the old Southern lawyer. The old Southern lawyer. Your Honor, I don't think we have to debate the positives and negatives of circumstantial evidence. But I think it's pretty clear that due process of law dictates that if there is not enough evidence to convict, my client must walk free. That just left me in a ponderance. I should probably edit out the sniffles, but I won't. Boy, this wind, it reminds me of the Great Dust Bowl, which is exactly what we need to complement this depression. We're due for a Dust Bowl. Why do I feel like John Steinbeck is somehow returned from the grave? Is this what's going on? Is this the ghost of John Steinbeck doing all this? John Steinbeck? Does someone want another novel? How about a conversation between Mrs. Halifatrix and the Southern lawyer? I have absolutely no idea who broke into my house and killed my barmaid. Absolutely no idea, and I refuse to answer such ridiculous questions from you. Now, Mrs. Halifatrix, I'm just a country lawyer. So you're going to have to explain to me, how many barmaids do you have? Oh, goodness. Do you think I keep a track of such things? I leave that to my accountant. All I insist is that there is a barmaid there ready to go at any point. Barmaid! See? I always have a barmaid ready. Barmaid, I like a martini. Objection, Your Honor. This witness is not allowed to drink during a court proceeding. Now, if you may answer the question of where you were on the night of November 15th. Do you think I pay attention to those details? I am Madame Halifatrix. It is enough that I am. November 15th. Goodness. Probably another horrid day where I was looking out the window, watching the wind that I refuse to allow into this country, and yet it ignores me. I say it ignores her. This be J.B. Perkins. I'm reporting for Channel 2 News. This is just the podcast of bad accents. Mrs. Halifatrix was supposed to be British, but that fell apart. I mean, it is really the podcast of horrible, horrible accents. That's my theme for today. But is this all this podcast is about? Silly voices? You've got to say something, man. You've got to have a strong opinion about things. What's my strong opinion today? What is my strong opinion today? Really, I'm really trying. This is what I'm struggling with. As everything reopens, I find the familiar depression that I was feeling before all this happened to come back. Because I'm starting to think about the future again and worry about the future. And I think that's really the root of a lot of my depression, is I'm stuck in the past, I'm stuck in the future, but I'm not living in the moment. And I'm not thinking about today. What is happening today? What is going on today? Well, I'll tell you. Today, my allergies are acting up. And I'm trying to be at peace with where I'm at, what I have, what I'm doing. And just acknowledge what's going on right now, in the moment. And then I tried to remind myself, listen, all these bad things happening. There could be something good that happens. You never know. If life is that chaotic, the universe may actually give me something. Wouldn't that be something? And I'm also just trying to enjoy the ride here a bit. And just accept whatever happens, happens. And try to go with it. As opposed to fight against fate. Let fate drive the car. Over the cliff repeatedly. That is my overall plan. And to try to have more of a sense of humor about it. So I guess that's my thought for the day. I had a teacher who would always do a thought for the day in middle school, history teacher. And one of the first ones was, when you stop to think, don't forget to start again. And I've been pondering this for years, because is what he's saying, When you stop to think, don't forget to start not thinking again? Or when you stop to think, don't forget to start actually thinking again? I kind of like the idea of when you stop to think, don't forget to start not thinking, because that feels very kung fu. You've got to stop thinking and let your instincts kick in. And right now, my instincts are telling me to panic! I should amend that. When you stop to obsess, don't forget to start not obsessing again. Curiously, light traffic. Still not up to what it was. Interesting. Well, most of the economy is reopened. No, it isn't. I can see the Burbank Mountains easily. There's no smog. The economy is not reopened. The traffic on the 5 freeway is moving. The economy is not reopened. My commute today was pleasant and easy. The economy is not reopened. All right, well, that was a podcast.